So you're looking for your first video editing laptop. Well, congratulations and welcome to the club. Now this is an important decision to make because unless you have tons of disposable income, you're probably on some sort of a budget. And that's not a problem because this exists. Even if you have tons of disposable income, you should watch this video to make sure you're spending your money wisely. And if you stick around to the end, then hopefully I can help you ballers make a more informed decision. But firstly, what makes me qualified to tell you what a reasonable video editing computer is? Well, I'm Zain. I've been editing videos since 2015. I'm mainly an Apple and Final Cut Pro user. However, I do use Windows and Premiere Pro from time to time. Before we go any further, I would like to clear something up. More money does not always mean more performance. And more importantly, a better PC or laptop won't make you a better video editor. Having said that, this is the M1 MacBook Pro 13-inch. It came out late 2020 and it was the first time the world was introduced to Apple Silicon. It has an 8-core CPU, an 8-core GPU, and mine has 16 GB of RAM. And I'm going to tell you why it's still the perfect entry-level editing machine for you. Firstly, the price to performance of Apple Silicon is unbelievable. Even the cheapest M1 MacBook Air can easily edit a single stream of 4K footage with a few transitions and some color corrections with no problem. However, the reason I'm not recommending that to you is because, in my opinion, there isn't that much growth potential. Meaning, the second you need to do something more demanding, the Air is going to thermal throttle because there's no fan to keep it cool. And that's why this is still so good. And in case you're wondering why I'm not showing you my actual laptop in my hand, it's because I'm using it for the script, which is on the screen behind my camera, which is my iPhone 11 Pro, which is also an amazing camera, as you can tell. So subscribe for that video later. And that's why the M1 MacBook Pro 13-inch is still so good. I've been using this laptop for nearly 3 years and I'm still more than happy with the performance. 4K footage, no problem. Plugins, no problem. Color correction, no problem. It's simply amazing for entry to intermediate editors. And because it's so popular, all the major editing softwares are optimized for it. My personal recommendation will be Final Cut Pro, but it does cost a bit of money. So my second suggestion would be DaVinci Resolve because it's free and it's really good. Even today, after nearly 3 years of use, I still look at my battery expecting it to be dead. But I look over and there's like 60% left after 5 hours of working hard or hardly working hard. The screen is great. The speakers are great. The keyboard and trackpad are great. All of which make long editing sessions so much easier. And I know I keep bringing it up, but it has a fan. And well, most people will probably say,
that's no big deal. I don't need a fan.
The fan helps keep it cool when I have 50 tabs open and Final Cut Pro and the Notes app and Zoom and whatever else. And because it's cool, I know it's just going to keep working as it should. Storage is basically irrelevant because if you want to take video editing seriously, then you will keep all of your footage on an external SSD, a good one. Don't cheap out on the safety of your footage. Seriously, this is a good habit to develop for your video editing journey. File management is very important. And by the way, I said it's irrelevant because you just need enough space on your internal SSD for the applications and operating system you're using. And I've personally liked to make sure that I have at least like 70 to 100 gigs of free space on my machine for peace of mind. So you may be wondering, Zen, this all sounds so amazing. Are there any downsides? To which I'll say, no. It's a perfect machine. Unless you're like really picky and you consider small things like only 2 ports, terrible 720p camera, gross touch bar, and no upgrading storage or RAM bad. But like, who cares about that stuff? But that's just Apple. What are you gonna do? Sue them? Additionally, it came out in November 2020. Some people will say it's outdated. Other people will say it's retro. And people like retro things, right? Also, the 13-inch screen can be a bit small. I'd recommend using an external monitor, but I would say the same thing for a 16-inch MacBook. But if you want to use a second external monitor, well, you should just give up all hope. Except this thing exists. Video on this coming soon. So subscribe. Or if it's out, I'll leave it in the description or pin comment or something. But essentially it does magic, and it allows your M1, M2, or M3 MacBook to break its limits. So now that you've heard the good and the bad, what should you do? Personally, if I'm honest with myself, I could keep using this machine for another 2 years with no problem. My biggest gripe is the lack of ports and the lack of support for a second external monitor, and I'm someone who really benefits from a second external monitor. In fact, here's a study which showed that people who use second monitors are more productive by 42%. So pretty important to me. What can I say? More monitors, more better. For you, as I mentioned earlier, the M1 MacBook Air is good. The M2 MacBook Air 13 or 15 is good too, albeit a bit more expensive. However, they have a few nicer features than like the M1, obviously 1080p webcam, blah, 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 and the new design, so it doesn't look as stale. But this video is about getting the most out of your dollar. Time is money. If your machine starts slowing down because there's nothing to help it cool, then that's a problem. The M1 MacBook Pro 13, she's kind of old, but she's still an amazing piece of tech. And knowing that Apple is going to support even the M1 MacBook for at least another 3-4 years, like 2026, you're still getting updates. That's huge. Having said all that, if you can spend the little bit of extra money, I would recommend getting any of the M1 Pro, M2 Pro, or M3 Pro chips, which will last you for at least like 4 years before you even consider upgrading, because you're just becoming an awesome video editor. And don't even consider the Max chips. Those are so overkill. Like, I'm pretty sure you'll be good for the next like 5 to 6 years without even ever utilizing the performance that thing can do. But I mean, if you have the money, then like go for it. I don't care. It's your money. However, I would like to mention that there are other tools that you could allocate your money towards, which may be more beneficial for your editing and your workflow. For example, plugins and LUTs, because anything that can help you speed up your process is good, because time is money. I hope this video helped you to decide what you're getting for your first video editing machine. I'm so excited to see your journey. Send me some of your edits on Instagram or Twitter. I would love to see them. And thanks for watching. Take care. Tata. See you. Assalamu alaikum.